Hi, I'm Sue Looney of Looney Math, and this is my weekly check-in. I want to start by saying I hope that you are all well and taking care of yourself and your loved ones during this challenging time. I have three things to offer today, and the first thing is just some advice. And I want to say that when we find ourselves in times of stress, in unusual circumstances like we do right now, and yet we're being asked to continue with education in some sort of a formalized way, I want to encourage you to just try to do one thing. If we can just do one thing that's meaningful in an online format with our students, I think we'll be doing really well. I think to try to do many different things and proceed forward with brand new concepts that we've never seen before with a high level of expectation of what's going to happen is going to prove to be stressful. And I have to wonder how much of that learning will really be deep learning that makes its way into long-term memory when we talk about having our students back in front of us today. So I'm going to encourage you to do one thing, to just find one thing that engages students, that gets their curious minds moving and brings you together to solve mathematics together. So that's the first thing. The second thing is an idea of what that one thing might be. So I've been talking about how math can bring us calm and joy, and in problem solving we sort of lose track of time when we're engaged in true problem solving, which would mean that we don't know what the answer is, the solution path isn't obvious, and we are having to engage some creative thinking. So I'd like to talk about Ken puzzles. So you may or may not have used them before, but here's a perfect opportunity to do some for yourself and to share those with your students. I'm sharing with you three tools to help facilitate that. One is a video clip that is a how-to, so how to do Ken puzzles, and they're basically logic puzzles that afford an opportunity to use operations with small numbers. So there can be a lot of practice as well as the logic and thinking that goes behind where should I place these numbers. Think about a crossword puzzle for numbers, but different than Sudoku. The second thing that I'm going to share to go along with that is a PDF. So you have some puzzles that can just be printed out, or you can link that PDF file for your students. And the third is a way to play that game online. So I encourage you to check them out to play. I was just doing some. I completely lost track of time for a solid 10 minutes. I was really engaged in the one I was solving, and it somehow never gets old, and I find it very calming, and I think it's really important that we realize that mathematics can be a place of comfort right now. And of challenge and joy and all those good things. The third thing that I couldn't wait to get out to you, I cannot take credit for, but on Twitter and working with my PLC, I have come across choice boards that I think are so awesome. So I'm going to share the links so you can find those, and those are for grades K through 5. And they pretty much present one thing to be done each day. So sticking with that theme, if we can find one good thing to do each day. If there's an interest in our designing those for middle school levels, if you would shoot me an email, I would be happy to get my team together and start working on that. Lastly, Wednesday is Earth Day, so just a reminder to celebrate our Earth. And I think we just take a math walk. We look around our environment. If we are able to get outside, we look at what we can, and we look for examples of something, of things to count, of symmetry, of various shapes and angles. We can look for examples of multiplication. We can look for patterns. There's all kinds of things, so you can plant that seed for us to recognize that mathematics is all around us in our earth. So those are my tips and ideas that I will share in links for you so you can find all of those. Please know that we are here to support. If you have questions, reach out. We're happy to answer questions, to point you in the right direction of materials, and if those don't exist, to put our heads together and work on those for you. And most of all, please be well, and remember to always be curious and to always be kind.